Yeah. Audible? So welcome to the fourth episode of Prelims Express. So Nikhil sir unfortunately is not well, so he'll be joining us from the next sessions. So what did we cover in the last session? Which topics did we discuss? Yes, we discussed about judiciary, vice president, panchayat raj, urban local bodies, etc. Okay. Again, today we are going to discuss, we are going to revise about fundamental rights, DPSPs. Again, I have reorganized them so that it is going to help us revise. We are going to discuss schedules, speaker and emergency provisions. And if you observe, schedules, these three topics are again a high return topic in UPSC. What are my high returns? A lot of questions are being asked in these topics. Okay. So again, let us start. Again, if you have observed, what is the trend of questions being asked in fundamental rights these years? Good. Article 21. So Article 21 and the scope of Article 21 is asked. Apart from this, Jorage. Okay, writ petition, good. Writs. Is the name writ mentioned in the Indian Constitution? Is the word writ mentioned in the Indian Constitution? Yes or no? Guarantee no? What is Article 32? Right to constitutional remedies. Under that there are 5 types of writs. Okay, good. Then usually they ask us what is the essence, what is the meaning, what is the intention behind fundamental rights. This is one aspect they ask. Apart from this, 2 more things that I should be knowing. One is the entire list of fundamental rights that is there. So which article to which article falls under fundamental rights? Article 12 to 32. Okay. So this is one thing we have to be knowing, and very important topic that is regularly asked by UPSC is classification of fundamental rights. What do you mean by classification of fundamental rights? There are 6 fundamental rights. So these articles are classified under different subheadings. Okay. So that is a very important topic because we get confused in these topics. Artha aita? Along with this, UPSC will also ask us any current affairs associated with fundamental rights. So that is why me and Nikhil sir have planned that the next week we are going to have a current affairs session on polity topics. Current affairs will identify 10 high rewarding topics and we will discuss those in detail. Okay. So current affairs, and one more small aspect, an X fundamental rights is asked by UPSC always. What do you mean by X fundamental right? Very good. Right to property. Okay. 2 to 3 times UPSC has already asked about right to property. So it is my duty to know about right to property properly. Got it? So we'll start. Again, see, if you know how to read this, or if you know how to classify fundamental rights and what is being asked, your preparation for UPSC Prelims is done. Because UPSC cannot go outside the limit of these 6 to 7 dimensions. And I'll give you examples and we'll discuss different types of questions that have been asked under these subheadings. Okay. Again, at any moment, if you have any doubts, please stop and ask. We'll discuss that. And again, I'm telling you, what is the objective of this session? The objective of this session is not to discuss question and answer of PYQs. It is about how to identify themes, how to identify micro themes, how to read the question and how to try to eliminate options and get the right answer. Here we are not discussing it in a question answer format, but I want you to learn. Remember artificial intelligence, machine learning, I want you to be able to cultivate this habit. Again, if you observe some recent trends, articles 14, 19, 21, right to property, again regularly asked by UPSC. Again, landmark cases and judicial interpretations and constitutional amendments. Important constitutional amendments related to fundamental rights. These are the things that are asked. Again, constitutional amendment is a very favorite area of UPSC, and he will ask constitutional amendment with respect to other aspects. For example, constitutional amendment related to fundamental duty, constitutional amendment related to fundamental rights, constitutional amendment related to DPSP, constitutional amendment related to schedules. So he loves to pick this topic and ask different dimensions out of these amendments, and he will easily play with numbers 42, 44, 91, 92, 93, 94. There are some amendments which repeatedly UPSC will recycle. Remember, I told you UPSC loves to reuse and recycle the topics. So these are the topics he is going to reuse. Again, current affairs, privacy has been asked by UPSC. Why? Because Supreme Court had given a verdict. Which was the case? KS Puttaswamy case. So directly they asked, but again they didn't ask what is the verdict of KS Puttaswamy's case, but which article did it expand the scope of was asked. Again, marriage, religion and other contemporary issues when it comes to current affairs. Again, essence and purpose of fundamental rights: to ensure individual dignity, democratic safeguard and social justice. This is very important. The main objective of fundamental rights is to prevent authoritarianism of the government. So it will set some checks and balances. It will give some rights to the citizen and prevent the government from acting arbitrarily. That is the main fundamental essence of our fundamental rights. Again, characteristic features: justiciable in nature. What is justiciable in nature? You can go to the court if you are denied. But DPSP, is it justiciable? DPSP is not justiciable. Artha agtidya? Ide differences. These are the differences he will focus on. Then, differential applicability, very important. Some rights are available to only citizens. Some rights are available to both foreigners as well as citizens. Please have an idea about this. Okay. Article 14, 20 to 28 are applicable to citizens and everybody else. 14, 20 to 28. Correct? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Are they applicable to both or just citizens? Just citizens. Artha agtidya? Have clarity on this. These are the areas where UPSC can confuse us. Okay. Write down another subheading related to fundamental rights. Applicability. Okay. And again, are fundamental rights absolute? I have freedom of speech and expression. Does it mean I can speak whatever I want? They are subject to reasonable restrictions. That is very, very important. You should have an idea about what are the reasonable restrictions that are subject to in fundamental rights. Again, usually is it negative or positive? Fundamental rights? Negative or positive? Negative. It places negative restrictions on the state. Correct? DPSP? Positive. It will increase the state. You should take these measures to ensure that you uplift the livelihood of the citizens. Welfare state. Again, these are the main 6 fundamental rights that are classified. Very, very important. Okay. Again, right to equality. Article 14 to Article 18. Very important. I'll tell you why. I'll give you 2 examples where the questions are so close that students tend to get it wrong. Okay. Right to equality. Then we have right to freedom. Article 19 to 22. Then we have right against exploitation. 23 and 24. What is 23 and 24? Human trafficking, bonded labor, child labor. Correct? Good. Right to freedom of religion. 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights 29 to 30. And right to constitutional remedies is Article 32. How many fundamental rights are there? Classification. 6 fundamental rights. So I'll just show you a few questions on this. You'll get an idea. Take your time. Don't rush. Prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, etc. Bracket Article 15 is a fundamental right classifiable under. How many of you think, again, read properly, remember the classification I told you, 6 classifications. Right to freedom of religion. Again, don't think religion is there, don't mark it off like that. See, I'm telling you, in your exam, common sense, sense does not work. And why? Because we think such an easy question, how can I miss this? And in an adrenaline rush, you will get this wrong. Option 1, is it correct? Option 2, right against exploitation. Option 3, yes or no? Option D, right. But if you observe, even right to freedom of religion looks correct. Some people will argue, sir, logically correct ideyalva sir, is it correct logically? But I don't want logically, I want constitutionally here. Understood? Again, why? Because in the exam I see, we mark it right because I feel it is right. I will come outside, I will become a lawyer and I will start arguing. No, this institution has given wrong answers. Right? I'll give you one more example, a very close question. This is a very nice question actually. Which, visible? Which of the following are envisaged by right against exploitation in the Constitution of India? Clarity korta idanalli. He is not asking which of the following is a fundamental right. But what is he asking? Classified under right against exploitation. Take your time and read. Prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. Which article? 23. Correct? Remember, I have told you, whenever you see something, please write down whatever you know right next to this. Life becomes easy. Abolition of untouchability. Which article? Very good. 17. Protection of interest of minorities. 29-30. Okay. Prohibition of employment of children in factories and mines. 24. So what should be the answer? C, 1 and 4. Guarantee na? But again, don't you think this also looks correct? Logically. I don't want constitutionally. Logically, does it look correct? So at that year, what many students did, they marked all of them and they came. They started arguing, no sir, this is correct. But remember our classification? So please by heart this classification. Artha agtidya? Very easy if you know this 6 classifications of fundamental rights, which article it comes under. Getting a clarity? Shrikar? Some more questions. Again, why I am bringing so many questions? I am not creating this. UPSC has asked these questions. That means UPSC likes this area and they will continue to like. In the Indian Constitution, the right to equality is guaranteed by 5 articles. They are 14 to 18. Have you have seen now? Now you are fresh. But in the exam, you will be very old. 14 will look like 15, 15 will look like 16. And see the number of questions UPSC has asked. And if prepared like this, it becomes very easy for you to remember. Okay? Again, so next type of questions that are asked is, what is the essence? What is the takeaway? What is the impact or implement, or is the impact of fundamental rights? These are the types of questions that come here. Read the question here. Which of the following statements is correct with respect to fundamental rights? Rights are claims of the state against the citizen. Logically, first artha madkoli and first understand. It means state is claiming something against the citizen. Is it possible? Eliminate. Rights are privileges which are incorporated in the Constitution of India. Maybe let us see. Let us not mark it wrong. Let's wait and watch. Why? Because in prelims, selecting the closest option is very important. Selecting the closest option. Yes, third one. Rights are claims of citizens against the state. What do you think? Chances are very high? Yes. Rights are privileges of a few citizens against the many. Correct? So which is the closest option? Option C. Again, go back to our another logic I told you. Again, rights are claims, rights are claims. Okay, out of these two only the answer should be correct. Whenever UPSC repeats, last class also guys, we saw some examples, this class also. Okay, so obviously the answer is C. Artha agtidya? What kind of a question is this? He is asking what is the intent behind fundamental rights. Why? And it is not there in any of our Lakshmikant or any books. It is our understanding. Artha agtidya? The type of questions that are coming. In the context of India, which of the following is correct relationship between rights and duties? Read all four options. First, rights are correlative with duties. I don't know, let us see. Next, rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Independent of society, I can do whatever I want in the name of my right. Alle reasonable restriction, public morality. So, again, I am telling you in the exam also, when you are so confident, scratch that option. No matter, even if the examiner says don't scratch, you scratch. I think we discussed last class. He cannot go outside the exam hall without taking your OMR sheet. Because marking like this makes your life easier. You will get more clarity. Okay, I have eliminated two options. Come to see. Rights, not duties, are important for the advancement of personality of the citizen. Right or wrong? Okay, good. Rights, duties, not rights, are important for the stability of the state. Again, fine, it might be right, but is there any relation between rights and duties? Option A is the right answer. Rights are correlative with duties, and unfortunately, this is a statement where you should know basic English at least. Again, I repeatedly tell students, English has become a very important tool for you to clear the exam. If you don't understand, you are already out. That question is not applicable for you because other side you have Hindi. English barala Hindi al barutte. Unfortunately, we don't have Kannada. If Kannada was there, okay, fine, sir, I have Kannada, I can read and understand. So that is the reason I stress students, please, it's not too late to start reading the newspaper even today. Alright? And again, are they trying to understand what is the core essence of rights here? Yes? Which article of the Constitution safeguards one rights to marry the person of one's choice? 21 or 19? 21. Today everybody marks 21 because it is post-mortem we are doing. Okay? But on the day of the exam, again we get confused. Okay? That is why whenever any Supreme Court verdicts come related to such issues, please observe under which article is UPSC giving, or sorry, Supreme Court giving the judgment. Done? Which case? Another case idya? Guarantee na? Come back. Again our classification question has come. Naapka idya classification question? Answer. Take your time, don't rush. Which one of the following categories of fundamental rights incorporates protection against untouchability? Which article? 17. 17 barkoli first. As soon as you write 17, try to eliminate. What shall we eliminate? Right to constitutional remedies 32. Dura ide. Exploitation 23, 24. Correct? Right to freedom 19 to 20. Correct? Then what is pending? Right to, or which one is the answer? Correct? Right to. But logically, if you think, what is the answer? Logically tell me. So this is the thing you should be very, very careful about. And that is why I tell you, if you know polity, if you know the PYQs, life becomes very, very easy. And polity, 15 questions will come. And it is your job to get 15 out of 58. Because compare polity with any other subjects. Let us compare with environment. Again, how many questions come in environment? 15 questions. How many are predictable according to you? 1, 2, 3, not more than that. Questions might be easy, but predictable coming from our base notes. Is environment questions coming? No. But polity, high chances of repetition from the same topic. Got it? So the answer is this. Again, current affairs. Right to privacy is protected under which article of the Constitution of India? Article 21. Again, today post-mortem, but that day it was a little tricky question only. Artha agta idya? Then, what is the position of right to property in India? Take your time, read all the options. Legal right available to citizens only. Legal right available to any person. Fundamental right available to citizens only. Neither fundamental right nor legal right. In yav tara right? Answer is legal right available to any person. I missed one more question. Right to vote, UPSC has already asked. What kind of a right? Legal right, fundamental right, constitutional right? What is the answer for right to vote? Guarantee, na? Constitutional vote. Okay. So these are the kind of questions that come in our fundamental rights. Again, we discuss right to equality starts from Article 14 to Article 18. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19 to 22 will be right to freedom. 23 and 24 will be exploitation. 25 to 28 will be freedom of religion. And cultural and education rights is 29 to 30. 32 is constitutional remedies. Artha aita? Understood? And heart and soul. Which article is known as the heart and soul of the Constitution? 32. Artha aita? So these are also sometimes asked by UPSC. Please give focus on these areas. Applicability and restriction again means which articles are applicable only to citizens, which articles are applicable to all persons. Please have an idea about this. Again, let us not learn it here, but this is the dimension I should be reading when I read my Lakshmikant or my class notes. Madboda, can you do this? If you do this, reading fundamental rights, which takes 4-5 hours, will take minimum 2 hours. How much time do you need to read fundamental rights chapter? How many pages are there in our Lakshmikant? Fundamental rights? Sir, book open madila, sir. Not open the book, sir. Around 20 pages, guarantee na? More than that. Fundamental rights is one of the bulkiest chapters, along with Parliament. Okay? Article 12 defines a state. In our Indian Constitution, very few things are defined. Out of this, the state is defined in Article 12. Correct? Government of India, state government, local authorities and any other authorities under the control of government is going to be defined as a state. That you read in Lakshmikant. Let us discuss this now. Okay, later after the class you ask. Okay. Because here we will discuss only the PYQs and the framework. Again, if we go into polity, again I'll have to start teaching the entire chapter. Okay, write down the notes. Immediately after the class, we'll discuss. All right? Good. Any doubts, please ask this, but again after the class. Reasonable restrictions. Please write down all the reasonable restrictions. I'm sharing the slides and it will be, you will be able to download it on the YouTube channel only. Okay? So please have an idea which are the grounds for reasonable restrictions with respect to freedom of speech and expression, freedom of movement, freedom of association, etc. Madboda? Chapter 4, right to property and its current status. Which article converted right to property from a fundamental right to a legal right? 300A. Which amendment? 44. Again, go back, read the basics. Ish madboda? Okay, I want you to always think, okay, UPSC loves to ask constitutional amendment. What is the constitutional amendment related to our right to property? Again, till 1978, fundamental right under Article 31 was originally a part of Part 3. In 44th Amendment, removed from Part 3 and was added under Article 300A, Part 12 of the Constitution. Okay? This much is enough to get clarity about our right to property. Understood the status of right to property? Next dimension is our current affairs. Any recent current affairs related to fundamental rights? 21. Why was it in the news? Sanchar Sarthi. Okay, good. Privacy. Right to internet. Which article? 19 or 21? ಏನೇ ಬಂದ್ರು 21 ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾಗ್ಸ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ when you see anything, please search has our court mentioned any articles. All right, so this is about the fundamental rights chapter. Artha aita? Again, what is asked, I want you to revise. Essence, features of fundamental rights, classification of fundamental rights, list of fundamental rights, applicability of fundamental rights, and amendments related to fundamental rights, and any current affairs related to fundamental rights. These are the major items that are asked under our current affairs or under our fundamental rights chapter. Minimum 2 questions are generally asked every year in UPSC. All right, yes, let us next go to directive principles of state policy. So again, what all do you think UPSC asks about in directive principles of state policy? Same, justiciable, non-justiciable. What is the essence behind DPSP? From which country did we borrow DPSP? Which country? Irish. Okay, Ireland. Okay, then classification of DPSP, Gandhian, liberal, socialist classification of DPSPs. Important amendments of DPSP. How many amendments have happened to DPSP? Guarantee, no? 4 amendments have happened to DPSP. In which amendment, what provision has been added, I should be knowing, because UPSC has asked. Are you getting an idea? Okay, so let us start with DPSP. Again, major is again to implement or to make the government a welfare state. Directive principles of state policy has been mentioned in Indian Constitution. Again, these are non-justiciable guidelines, instructions for the state not enforceable in the courts. Instructions for the state not enforceable in the courts. Before our independence, was DPSP present in our governance framework? Guarantee irlilva? During our constituent assembly, was there any other name to DPSP? Preamble itta? Very good. Objective resolution for preamble. DPSP genittu? Very good. Instrument of instructions. So DPSP was earlier instrument of instructions. Artha agtidya? These are the small things. Please observe. Again, it aims to give social, political, economic justice, equality, and welfare. Why DPSP matters? More than 15 plus questions have been asked. Again, he will ask the philosophy behind DPSP and application based questions. Philosophy andre basically welfare state, social and economic justice, etc. When was the first time DPSP was amended? Guarantee na? How many amendments? 42nd ondu amele? Very good. 44 then? 86? 97. Good. 42nd ali how many provisions were added? 39A, 43A, 48A. Good. 44 ali? Yes. Again, UPSC will give you the name and ask which amendment was it added in. 97 is easy. What is 97? Cooperatives. 86 is related to education. Okay. The most confusing is our 42 and 44th amendment. Okay. Please have an idea about this. Have clarity. And if you have clarity before you walk into the exam hall, you will search where is your answer. Or else the answer will search for you. Please mark me, mark me. But if you know it, no, that is the advantage of preparing like this. This kind of question should come, you know where is the answer. And if UPSC has given it wrong, you can easily identify with a smile. Again, borrowed from Irish constitution. Is it justiciable? Non-justiciable. Again, universally applicable. Fine, all this is fine. Yes, let us start with some of the types of DPSPs. What are the types of DPSPs? Gandhian, socialist, liberal. Is it mentioned in the constitution? Are they given classification? No, it is. We are taking the message out of this. Constitutional, they have not mentioned Gandhian DPSPs are. Is not mentioned. Amendments and evolution. Okay, this will read. Let us come to the questions that have been asked. Yes. Take your time, let us not rush. The purpose of inclusion of DPSP in the Indian Constitution is to establish political democracy, social democracy, yes, Gandhian democracy, social and economic democracy, again closest answer. Social and economic democracy. Nan tappu helena? Correct tane? Social and economic democracy. Understood? According to the Constitution of India, which of the following are fundamental for governance of the country? Again, first governance andre. What do you understand by governance? Ruling, correct? Okay, to make laws, etc. What is important? Fundamental rights, duties, DPSP, fundamental right and duties. DPSPs. It is DPSP that will guide the governance process. Okay, elimination of inequality, equal treatment between men and women. All this is being guided by directive principles of state policy. Again, they are asking you what is the essence, what is the reason behind DPSPs. Consider the following statements regarding DPSP. The principles spell out socio-economic democracy in the country. True or false? True, no? As soon as I see this, I will scratch all this because it will give me confidence. 50% high chances of me getting the answer right. Make this habit from your test series. Next, the provisions contained in these principles are not enforceable by any court. Yes. Okay, don't add any meaning to it. Not enforceable, not justiciable. Answer is 1 and 2. Artha aagtideya? So these are the type of questions. Again, please, when you read the question, I want you to underline correct, incorrect, what is being asked. Make this also a very important habit that you have right from today. The ideal of welfare state of the Indian Constitution is enshrined in, again directly full toss, if you get bold, you can't help. It wicket adangidu. Full toss it wicket adre. Again, are you observing copy paste of the same questions? UPSC will repeat the questions. Okay. Again, what is the answer? DPSPs. All right. Again, kind of a little English application based questions. With reference to the Constitution of India, the directive principle of state policy constitutes limitations upon. He is asking DPSP will put limitation on whom? Will it put limitation on legislature? Limitation and stop? Definitely not. Will it put limitation on the executive? No. Answer is neither one nor two. And remember, in the exam hall, you need guts to mark neither one nor two. Earlier, see, when we were solving 2014 to 2015, 16, 17, at that time, neither 1 and 2 was very rare. And once 1 or 2 question, neither 1 and 2 comes, you will doubt yourself. Maybe I don't know properly. UPSC will not give neither 1 and 2. Don't do that. If you are confident, confidently mark neither 1 or 2. Okay? Legible? Everybody can see this? Read. They shall be enforceable by court. 100% wrong. As soon as, and also please remember, I am going to underline correct. One is wrong. First I will eliminate both. 2 has to be correct. Now I will directly come to 3. The principles laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. Are you understanding? Every question is asking you the theme, the essence behind the directive principles of state policy. Nothing else. Consider the following provisions DPSP enshrined in the Constitution. Which of the above are Gandhian principles? Again, now if you don't know Gandhian principles, gone. Okay? Gandhian principles. Securing for citizens of India uniform civil code. Yes or no? Adu liberal. So our one is gone. Answer is also ready. Understood? Sometimes there are, I will today, some more examples I will give. Elimination of one option will give us the answer. And what? Why? Because you will start reading 2, 3, 4. You will get confused. Okay? In exam, most of you contradict yourself, contradict your own knowledge. Don't do that. Don't think how UPSC can give so easily. In the exam, you feel like UPSC, how can they easily become such fools? By eliminating one option, how can they give the answer? These things happen regularly in the exam. Why? Because you are made to think like this by our test series. Idara questions test series are barade illa. Okay, so test series is only for your practice. Test series is to test your knowledge. Do I know about DPSP or not? Test series don't go into the what do you say, the tricks or logic part about it. Which of the following is or are included in DPSPs? Don't rush, don't rush. Aram se. Take your time. Prohibition of traffic in human beings and forced labor. It is fundamental rights. Correct? One is gone. Prohibition of consumption except for medicinal purpose of intoxicating drinks and of other drugs which are injurious to health. Article 47. Please remember the articles. DPSP you can remember. Gandhian principle. Artha kya? So answer is option B. And one more thing you should observe. UPSC loves to confuse you between fundamental rights, fundamental duties and DPSPs. So please be very, very careful because something related to environment is present in both a fundamental duty and a DPSP. So please go back and read the exact wordings related to environment that is in DPSP and that is in fundamental duties. Education, is it there in fundamental duties? Idya? DPSP idya? Fundamental rights are idya? So please be very, very careful when you are reading the exact wordings that are given. Alright, so this is what UPSC tries to test, your presence of mind. How well has this person understood this concept? Read. Take your time and read. In the Constitution of India, promotion of international peace and security is included in Preamble, DPSP, Fundamental Duty, 9th Schedule. Guarantee na? Yes sir, we are discussing DPSP. What do you think? We are so dumb. DPSP chapter, DPSP in answer. Correct. DPSP. Article 51. Nane answer helkodbudnalla. Yes. So dumb I am. Article 50 is separation of judiciary from executive enjoined by. Now this is a little challenging. Iduvargu with your knowledge only, whatever Manjunath sir I told, by remembering you could do it. Now we go to the factual aspect of DPSP. What is the answer? I don't know. I told you we don't discuss question answers, but we observe what questions are being asked. I want you to answer. Artha aita, everything looks same. 42nd, 44th. What is the answer? D na. How many of you think option A? Option A. Okay, 10%. Option B? 20%. Option C? Option D? It's like in Kaun Banega Crorepati, you ask for public opinion. Public are also confused. 25, 20, 27%. What is the answer? D. Correct? But anyways, I don't want the answer here. I want you to go back home when you are reading DPSP. All 4 amendments, under 4 amendments, what have been added? 86 is very easy, 97 is very easy, 42nd, 44 are confusing. Okay? 42nd, 44, if you read it properly, your job is done. This is all are the questions that are asked about DPSP. Getting an idea. Again, I am bringing the last 25 years so that you will get an idea. Outside this, chances are very less, or with this knowledge, you can easily get the answer right. Any doubts? Again, let us keep it crisp and fast also. Let us not keep repeating it. So let us go to the next topic, constitutional bodies. Again, surprisingly, I also observed many facts that I did not know. So what are the surprising aspects? Again, here there are 2 types of questions that UPSC generally asks. Either they will definitely pick one constitutional body. Give me examples of constitutional bodies. Election Commission of India, Finance Commission of India, UPSC, how can we forget UPSC? CAG, delete C, you will get AG also. Okay. Along with this, other statutory bodies also sometimes are asked. NHRC, Delimitation Commission. Okay, Delimitation Commission is generally asked. Anything else? NCBC. Ella add madi. Very good. Ididya? That is why. That is constitutional body. National Commission for Backward Class, Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. But if you go back and do research, UPSC loves. First law of UPSC is Finance Commission. Second law of UPSC is Election Commission. Third law is Attorney General, followed by CAG. And how I am telling? Based on the number of questions they have repeated. Finance Commission, 13, 14, 15, all 3 Finance Commissions has been asked. So that is why Finance Commission becomes very, very important from our exam perspective. Again, for example, if I read about a constitutional body, what all should I be reading about? Suppose, let us pick up a constitutional body. What all should I be reading? Facts. Facts andre? Article numbers. Waste mabadi energy. 148, 280, 149. Simply you will get confused. If you naturally know how to learn numbers, fine. Don't force. What are the powers and functions? Appointment and eligibility. Fine, tenure, rarely asked. But UPSC loves to ask about resignation and removal. You go back and do your homework. Resignation, removal, multiple times he has asked. Okay? And again, one more person is about to be removed, or there is a proposal to remove the Madras High Court judge. Again, let us not worry about the politics. Let us worry about our constitutional polity aspect of removal of High Court judge. Again, by next week, I will identify 10 important topics and we'll discuss all the 10 important topics in detail for prelims. Okay? Doubt? Then anything else about bodies? Composition, fine. Okay, these are the major things. We'll see anyways. Election Commission of India. Again, what all should I be knowing about Election Commission of India? How many members are there in Election Commission of India? Why? Because Election Commission has become very controversial these days. Multiple reasons. One is vote chori, one more is SIR, special intensive revision. Amel, appointment also. Recently they passed a amendment. Amendment? Bill. Higa, government recently made a change. Earlier, the appointment of election commissioner, how was it? Arbitrarily by the executive. But now they have formed a committee. Correct? Correct? I only doubt myself. Because I feel that some 10 years back I have studied. They recently made a change. I think that a 3-member body has been set up. Collegium tarane. Prime Minister of India, Leader of Opposition and Cabinet Minister, a 3-member committee. Was that introduced through a constitutional amendment is my question. Madilva, guarantee na? Ist idea bandru sak. Are you observing? You have to learn the procedure. How is it made? What are the changes that are brought in? Again, main object, free and fair election. Model code of conduct becomes very, very important. Appointment and removal procedure. How is the Chief Election Commissioner removed? Same as Supreme Court judge. What about Election Commissioner? Okay, I will frame it another way. The procedure to remove the Chief Election Commissioner is the same as the procedure to remove the Election Commissioner. True or false? Guarantee na? Then what is the procedure? Ashte, on the recommendation of Chief Election Commissioner, both election commissioners can be removed. These are the small nitty-gritties of the things we have to observe. How many election commissioners are there? 3 na? 1 chief and 2 election commissioners. Earlier, 1, guarantee na? Was there any amendment passed by the government to convert the number of election commissioners from 1 to 3? Yes or no? Guarantee na? Confident agi helbeku. Yes or no? Write down. That is your homework for tomorrow. Tomorrow andre next class. Think that you are playing a quiz. Only when you think that you are playing a quiz, again you will start predicting what UPSC can question you. And once you do this, whenever you see that again UPSC paper is set by another human being, do you think he is so smart, so super intelligent to confuse you? Adine ulta maad keltane ashte. If you learn that knack, again it becomes easy. Autonomy and independence means again what are the measures taken by the government to protect the autonomy of election commissioners? Salaries are voted, charged. Voted, charged. Guarantee, na? Voted by Parliament. Okay, good. Again, please have an idea. Charged expenditure elliritte, voted by Parliament elliritte anta. Again, key testing dimensions, autonomy and powers, delimitation. Today, delimitation is in the news. Last year, direct question UPSC has asked about delimitation. Another 10 years back, he had already asked delimitation once. Can the recommendation given by the delimitation commission be challenged in the court of law? Yes or no? Guarantee, na? Very good. Okay, please go back and read delimitation commission. Is it statutory body or constitutional body? Again, what is the eligibility to become members of delimitation commission and what are the functions of delimitation commission? Last year, what was the question that was asked? How many delimitation commission? Ashte kelididdu. Okay. EVMs, VVPATs. Again, when was the first time EVM was introduced in India? Which election? Which year? Again, here two types of questions. One is, which year EVM was used for all constituencies in an election, or which year EVMs were used on a trial basis? Adi erduku bere answer barutte. Okay? VVPAT. Again, VVPAT. When was it first introduced and where was it used? And there is a very famous case regarding VVPAT in Supreme Court. PUCL bere, Nota case bere, Subramaniam Swamy case. You know Subramaniam Swamy is the rebel against the government. He is the only person who can take on Modi ji at the moment. Also, they have asked what are the powers regarding the of the election commission with respect to registration and deregistration of political parties. Because at one point of time there was a very big fight happening in AIADMK. If you know, AIADMK is a political party in Tamil Nadu. Who should get which symbol? There was a fight that was happening. UPSC picked up the same topic, went and asked the powers of election commission with regard to that. So please observe today, special intensive revision is important. Again, on the next Sunday we will discuss special intensive revision. Alright? Finance Commission. Again, what all should I be knowing about Finance Commission? Article 280, fine. Then? Okay, terms of reference. Who decides terms of reference? Central government. Who appoints Finance Commission? President appoints Finance Commission. Who was the president of chairman of first Finance Commission? Guarantee na? This is again a factual thing that he can ask to confuse you. Then how many members will be there in Finance Commission? ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇರಬಹುದಾ? How many members are there in Finance Commission? It's mentioned in the article. Check ಮಾಡಿ. 3 ಅಂತೂ ಅಲ್ವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ. Usually how many members are there? ಒಬ್ರು ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಒಬ್ರು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. 5 members. Extra invitees can be called, but minimum usually 5 members. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? I think they have written who all are eligible to become members of Finance Commission. Fine. What is the main powers and functions of Finance Commission? Devolution of fund, taxes barutte, how taxes should be distributed in between center and state, etc. We are going to read about this. All right. And we have to know what are the recommendations of the latest finance commissions. They have already asked 3 continuous, 13, 14, 15 ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, next ಯಾವುದು? 16. Composition and tenure. In fact, 1 year they had asked the formula for devolution of finances. If you observe, there is a formula. Formula ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? There is a table: income, distance, population, area, fiscal discipline, forest, etc. ನೋಡಿದೀರಾ? They have asked exactly what are the numbers, because there was a change in the formula, I think after 14th and 15th Finance Commission. The population changed. Earlier 1971 we used to take, now we changed it and we started taking 2001 census. I want you to know what is the formula of Finance Commission to distribute the funds between center and state. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Again, let us see some questions. Again, Attorney General, another very important topic. The primary function of the Finance Commission of India is to read all 4 options. Distribution of revenue between center and states, prepare the annual budget, advise the president on financial matters, allocate funds to various ministries of union and state government. What is the answer? A. Now don't say, sir, president will appoint him, sir, so why don't he give advice to the president? That is art of overthinking. No overthinking. Closest option ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು. Which is the closest option here? Option A. Okay. Read, take your time, don't rush. Exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ rush made many times we make 2 or 3 mistakes like that. Visible? Balcony? ಇದಕ್ಕೂ you need some guts, some courage. It encourages the inflow of foreign capital for infrastructure development. No way, chance illa. Second, it facilitates the proper distribution of finances. Till there it is correct. Center and state andre correct. Illen madidane public sector. Forget it. Next, it ensures transparency in financial administration. Madakelsiಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. Exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಯೋಚನೆ. Again you have to think like that. Answer is D. Okay. Again, are you observing the repetition of the number of finance commission questions coming in UPSC regularly? Okay, that makes it a very important and a favorite area of UPSC. Which of the following are or is the among the noticeable features of the recommendation of 13th Finance Commission? Again, today, from today's perspective, we don't need to by heart the recommendation of 13th Finance Commission. What was the main demand of the question here? Recommendation of 13th Finance Commission. Let us not go into the answers about. Next year, 14th Finance Commission. It has increased the share of states in central divisible pool from 32% to 42%. Correct, avaga. Amel 41 madidare. It has made recommendations concerning sector specific grants. That was also correct. Anyways, answer beta. Are you observing the theme that is repeated? Yes? Just a minute. 15th also they asked. I want you to tell me the answer. It has recommended grants of 4,800 crores from the year 2022 to 2023 to 2025 for incentivizing states to enhance educational outcomes. 100% nobody will know, or 99% will not know, and UPSC does not expect you to know this. Second option money, 45% of the net proceeds of union taxes are to be shared with the states. Ille ide 42 ittu, 42 has become 41. Understood? Now let us just eliminate 2. We have our answer ready. What is the answer? C. 1, 3 and 4. Artha agtidya? Did he check? See, again he wants you to just have an idea about what is this 45% or 41%. And he doesn't care about 4,800, 45,000. Let us forget that. So whenever you see Finance Commission coming in the news, please be very, very active. Okay, this Finance Commission, who is the chairperson? Arvind Panagaria. Very good. So what is the timeline duration of this Finance Commission? 2026 to 3031. Correct? Very good. Again, in case, sir, how should I be better prepared? Go and see what are the terms and reference of 16th Finance Commission. Ishtu madboda? Only terms of reference. That is the only way UPSC can make this question difficult. Got it? Again, I'll show you a few more questions about Finance Commission. All UPSC questions. What is the answer for this? I don't know. I told you, I don't discuss answers. I discuss only questions. An answer? Good. Consider the following statements. Functions of Finance Commission. Again, Finance Commission is his favorite topic. Read. To allow the withdrawal of the money out of Consolidated Fund of India. Good. Next, to allocate between states the share of proceeds of tax, horizontal and vertical devolution. Correct? Two should be there. To consider application for grant in aid for states, to supervise and report on whether union and state government are levying taxes in accordance with the budgetary provisions. What is the answer? 2 and 3. Did you observe? Again, Finance Commission, 360 degrees I should be knowing. Next, another question, but this is not a constitutional body, this is a statutory body, 1993. What is the answer? One is wrong. Guarantee na? Agree alla. 2 and 4, 2 and 3. 2 and? Guarantee na? 2 and 3. Again, this question was applicable only in the year that it was asked. Later amendments have been made. Okay. Now it is mandatory. Ex officio members are there. National Commission for Women, National Commission for Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe, minorities. They are all ex officio members of Human Rights Council. Okay. ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಅ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಚೀಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಡಿದನ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೋ ಬೈ ವರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದು ಓಕೆ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಇದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡೋಣ ಓಕೆ I don't know. This is 2004 question. What is the answer? A, B, C, D. Guarantee na? Illa andre? Guarantee na? Indian public policy andmele ನಾನು ಸಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಇವಾಗ I believe in public. Anyways, I don't want the answer. What is being asked? Previous 2 questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಎಲಿಜಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ who can become the chairman ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So please keep a sheet where you are going to write down all the chairmen of different bodies and what is the eligibility criteria. ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಹಳೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇತ್ತದು. ಓಕೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, another second most asked number of constitutional bodies after Finance Commission is our Attorney General. Read all options. Shrikar, very fast. Fastest finger first. Consider the following of regarding Attorney General. He can take part in the proceedings of Lok Sabha. ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. Can be a member of a committee of Lok Sabha. No. If you are confused, let us wait. Speak in Lok Sabha. He can take part. Matarde sunno kada. Logically, they should be together. Vote definitely not. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Consider the following questions. The Attorney General and Solicitor General of India are the only officers of the government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India. Again, broad, just any meeting, any bureaucrat, whenever needed, can go and participate in the meetings. Okay, it is nowhere mentioned that rest nobody else cannot go there. Option 1 is obviously wrong. Second, according to the Constitution of India, the Attorney General of India submits his resignation when the government which appoints him resigns. Yes or wrong? According to the Constitution, no. It is just a convention. Whenever the government falls, he also will automatically resign. Correct? Very easy. If you know 3, you will get the answer. In case, worst case, sir, I don't know what is his qualification. Worst case, I have forgotten. Why I am telling you is, in the exam, sometimes we will not know some things because I have missed out or I have forgotten. But still, in the option, there is going to be a hint where you can actually recover and get the question right. Don't think just because I don't know out of 4 options, 1 option, I cannot mark the answer. It is never like that. If you don't know 1 option also, chances are you can still get it right. Why? Because here, he must be a member of either House of Parliament. This is 100% wrong. So 3 you eliminate. So you have almost eliminated all the options. And you have got option A as the answer. Artha aita? So this is about our constitutional bodies. Again, 2 questions I will update. Election Commission, 2 questions I have just missed out. Apart from this, did you observe which are the constitutional bodies regularly coming? Finance Commission, Election Commission, Attorney General. Idu favorite of UPSC. Same things come in prelims. Go back and see, same thing comes in mains also. UPSC follows this habit and follows the trend. And if you have any doubts, go back and open the 25-year question bank. Everything is there right in front of you. Just that we don't believe in this or we don't put an effort to read about this. Arthat idya? So learn the patterns. Chances are there. Very good. UPSC 100 years agide. Keda chances ide. UPSC adunu kedbodu, or you can go back and ask the constitution, I mean British aspect. And that when British rule was there, they had set up Public Service Commission. 1919 Act alone madidru. Correct? Joint Public Service Commission anta on madidru. So please go back and read the historical aspect. Very good observation. But avanu difficult madbeku andre, he will give normal 2 things which are there in our Lakshmikant. He will go to modern history aspect of this. While we discuss modern India, I will show you how modern India, a Government of India Act is a very, very favorite area. And also I will share my notes, how to make notes out of these topics. Okay? Arthak Didya, please observe these current affairs. That is why. So use UPSC a current affairs topic or a static topic now? Both. But some people will say current affairs is not useful for UPSC, current affairs is overhyped. Current affairs is the hype of UPSC. Because every question, at least 70% of polity question, there is a reason why he is asking that question. Sumne, avne nidde consult kelala. Do you think he will wake up from his dream and he will pick a question and ask? He will go back to either PYQ theme or current affairs and ask the topic. Okay? Again, appointment, removal, functions, autonomy, these are the major topics that are asked when it comes to constitutional bodies. Arthat idya? Getting an idea? Now, another favorite area of UPSC. Schedules, easiest, repeated. Recycle mel recycle agira topic idene. How many schedules are there? Guarantee na? How many schedules were there in original constitution? 8, very good. Who was the Prime Minister when 10th schedule was added? Rajiv Gandhi. 11th schedule? 12th schedule? Guarantee na? I have an idea. Why? Because there was a question. Who was the Prime Minister when 9th schedule was added? And once they are asked, 9th schedule was added through which amendment? Arthak Tidya, schedule, amendment, he will recycle and ask the same thing, different aspects. So again, if you know which are the 12 schedules, let us try to revise it once. First schedule, your list of states and union territories. Second, payments, emoluments. Third one, I have told you 3 times. Nanu Satyavanni heduttene, 3 sati agate. Both, don't get confused. 2 and 3, sometimes I used to get confused. Also, please go and observe what is there in number 2 or schedule 2 and what is there in schedule 3, what is not there in both schedule and schedule 3. Observe Madi, not everything in schedule 2 is there in schedule 3, not everything in schedule 3 is there in schedule 2. Make a minor observation. If UPSC wants to make the paper difficult, this is what he is going to do. He will just play with the same thing. Madboda? If you give your activity to your brain, you are almost done that it is sure that you will clear prelims. Ee tara tale odsi. Schedule 3-4, allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha to states and union territories. Schedule 5, scheduled areas. Correct? How many states have 5th schedule? Guarantee na? How many states have 6th schedule? Guarantee na? Ee 5th to 6th schedule ideyala, very very important. Remember, Ladakh is demanding 6th schedule. I think we had discussed that as a homework. In the next class, we will discuss 6th schedule. Committees, amendments related to 6th schedule. Why is it in the news? Ladakh is demanding separate or 6th schedule status. Schedule 7, division of powers, union list, state list, concurrent list. Schedule 8, languages. How many times has amendments been made to schedule 8? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಫಿಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ಆಗದು. ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿನಾ? ಗುಡ್. 4 times. Again, I don't know, I am believing her. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Next, 8th schedule ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 8th schedule UPSC has already asked twice. I think last year there was a question on 8th schedule. Languages. They had asked, I think, which language was added in which amendment ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Correct? I'll write that question. I forgot to bring that question. We'll discuss that. Schedule 9. Schedule 9. Judicial. Yes. Whichever acts are placed in Schedule 9 are subject to subject or not subject? Not subject. After 1971. Schedule 10. Most important, most favorite, anti-defection law. Now you know, because UPSC has so many times, class also sir would have told, sir, ade sir. And anti-defection law is another favorite area of UPSC. Please know it 360 degrees. Oh, how many times amendment has been made? One sati introduction, innon sati amendment. Which 2 amendments? 52nd and 91st. Good. Okay, please know both the amendments related to 10th schedule. One 52nd, inondu 91st. Very good. What is Kyoto Loan case? Anti-defection law. What did the code say? Subject to judicial review. Okay. Good. Schedule 11, Panchayat Raj. Schedule 12, municipality. How many items are there in our Panchayat Raj? 28 or 29? Urban local body? 28, 18 ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದರಲ್ಲಿ 9 ಇದೆ. 29, 18, 19, 28. 29, 18. Please have an idea. Also, parts of the constitution is another topic UPSC has just touched upon last year. How many parts are there? 24, 25. Guarantee na? All 25, please go back and read. Match the following can be asked. Oh, he has asked it only once or twice, but doesn't mean he will not come back and ask again. Sometimes schedule 7 has also been asked by UPSC. We will give you a topic and ask, is it union list, concurrent list or state list? So this is where our current affairs becomes very, very important. 3 lists, union, concurrent, state list. Let us see some questions. Easiest questions come from these topics only. What is the answer? You're asking, sir, why are you bringing all this, sir? This is pre-primary, primary, LKG questions. What is the answer? Fourth schedule. It lists the distribution of power between union and states. This is answer. Again, write it down next to it. Contains languages listed. Very good. Contains provision regarding administration of tribal areas. 5 or 6? Okay. This? 4. Okay. Don't rush. Aram se. Breathe and take your time. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಪ್ಲೈ, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಪ್ಪ. ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್. 10th schedule, 52nd amendment. Which year? 65. How many of you don't honestly tell? 10th schedule ವರ್ಷ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ರ. 70% will not know. Please focus on these things. 1985. ಆಮೇಲೆ 91st amendment. 91st 2003. 91st ತಾನೆ. Again observe, 9th schedule has been asked 3 times by UPSC. 9th schedule has been asked 3 times. Read the question. The Parliament of India can place a law, a particular law in the 9th schedule of Indian Constitution. Yes or no? Obviously. Second, the validity of a law placed in 9th schedule cannot be examined by any court and no judgment can be made out of it. It is obviously wrong. Answer is 1 only. Artha agtidya? 9th schedule. And again, one more small observation. And whenever UPSC adds and, 95% the option is wrong. I wanted to go and do empirical check. This is my observation. And andre purposely is adding something to tell you that the statement is wrong. 95%. 5% correct. Don't search for all ands and comments. Show, sir, notice sir, and is correct. Don't do that. Okay. Observation. And 95% yes. So please keep an eye whenever you see and, whenever you see but, whenever you see huge statements and but madi, he will try to make the statement wrong. Okay. Now all of you know. Avat yargu gotirilla. 2019 when people wrote, no, they did not know, oh, 9th schedule was amended. They thought it was there in first original constitution. What is the answer? Jawaharlal Nehru. Artha agtidya? If he wants to make it difficult, 10th schedule who was the prime minister, 11th and 12th schedule who was the prime minister, they can ask us. Which one of the following schedule of the Indian Constitution lists the names of states and specifies their territories? Number 1. Five, guarantee na? Options are also very bad. 3rd, 7th, 9th. Answer is? At least confuse ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 6 ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಆಯ್ತು ಅವನು. Read properly and tell me the answer. What is answer? 91st, 90th? No. 91st, 92nd. Artha agtidya? Amendment. Schedule and amendment becomes very important topic. One more question I'll write. This was this year's question. '71st Constitutional Act 1992 amends the 8th schedule to include which of the following languages? 8th schedule languages. 1. Konkani. 2. Manipuri. 3. Nepali. 4. Maithili. Okay. Options. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1, 2 and 4 only. 1, 3 and 4 only. D. 2, 3 and 4 only. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Guarantee na? 1, 2 and 3. Again, I don't want the answer, but did you observe, did UPSC follow the pattern last year? Did UPSC follow the pattern of schedule and amendment? Yes. That is why knowing the PYQs and decoding, next year you will easily predict. Either theme idiyalla adralle repeat agutte. It should repeat and it will repeat from the previous themes. Answer is are you observing the bulk of questions that have been asked on this topic? And the UPSC civil service, not even other exams. The provisions in 5th schedule and 6th schedule are made in order to protect the interest of scheduled tribes, determine the boundaries between states, determine the powers and responsibility authority of panchayats, protect the interest of all the border states. Answer is this was a little tricky. Now you know, because post-mortem. Answer is this would prevent the transfer of land from tribal to non-tribal people. But many people had marked this as the answer. Sir, autonomous council ella madutte, local self-government, why not anta? But the answer is, I want the closest answer here. Done? So these are the questions we are going to discuss today. We are going to discuss more topics, speaker and emergency, and we'll just discuss the dimensions that are going to be asked and that are dimensions we are going to read. Okay? Speaker. Now you only tell me what all should I be reading about speaker. Powers and functions, very good. What is eligibility criteria to become a speaker? If speaker resigns, whom should he give this resignation to? Okay? Amele. Very good. Pro tem speaker. Anti-defection law, because speaker acts as a what? Quasi-judicial body while discussing the issue of 10th schedule. Correct? Good. Apart from this, money bill, role of speaker during money bill, removal of speaker, very good, casting vote for speaker, suspension of members, joint sitting, very good, impeachment of judges, the speaker can accept or reject the motion. Correct ತಾನೆ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಇದು power of speaker. Good. Anything else? Very good. What are the committees where speaker is actually the, what do you say, the head of the committees? ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಮಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. Then few more aspects. Very important, joint panel of chairpersons. Okay, when do those people come and take, or when do they preside over the Lok Sabha? Okay, what happens if the speaker dies? Let them not, but UPSC can ask deputy speaker. Okay, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? Again, presiding authority. Again, does the speaker have any power regarding summoning, proroguing, adjourning and adjournment signed by? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ? Very easy to confuse you. Summon, adjourn, adjournment signed by, prorogue. Summon and prorogue is done by president, correct? Adjournment? Guarantee na speaker. Adjournment signed by speaker. Don't get confused. Again, remember, while doing parliament, we had discussed that these are very important parts. When it comes to speaker, we should know what is his responsibility when it comes to adjournment signed by. Who allocates time to the members of the house to speak? Speaker only? Yes. So please have an idea about this. Why? Because opposition party keeps complaining that they are not giving us time to speak. ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಮಾತಾಡಲ್ಲ. Anti-defection law, disciplinary powers. Can adjourn, suspend the house during disorder, name unruly members and maintain the decorum. Election and tenure, money bills, impartiality and disqualification cases. Any cases related to speaker, you know? Any Supreme Court cases related to speaker? ಕೇಳೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Any cases related to anti-defection law? Kyoto law, latest cases. Vadva case. Go back and read. Also read about one very important case, not very recent. Nabam Rebia case is also an important case. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ Nabam Rebia, Arunachal Pradesh case. I think sir would have taught. Governor also comes, speaker also comes there. Okay, what is the name? Nabam Rebia case. And when the house dissolves or the current assembly ends, what about the speaker? He will continue to stay, correct? Only he will give vote to the pro tem speaker and then his job ends, correct? So please know about this also. Anti-defection law. In anti-defection law, I have a question. Can a speaker take the case suo motu? Or a complaint has to be filed? Suo motu na complaint has to be filed. Complaint has to be filed. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? These are the things. Whenever you read such things, try to frame a question, or in your book on Lakshmikant, put a question mark. So means this is where UPSC can try to trick me. Emergency provisions, another biggest headache. Why? Because for me it was a very confusing chapter. Why is it confusing? Amended many times, 2 months, 1 month, 6 months, 3 years. Ella mix ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, correct? Because again there is a timeline. Once national emergency is imposed, within what time should parliament accept or should approve it? 6 months, 1 month. ಆ 1 month ಯಾವ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು? 42nd 44th? ಇದು ವೆರಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಮೈ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಇಸ್ try to make a small table like this. If you make a small table like this, again your confusion is already gone. 42nd and 44th amendment and for reasons, grounds for imposition of national emergency and approval time, initial duration, maximum duration and impact on rates. I will share it to you. Okay, but if you make this table, this is where the most confusing things are addressed in the easiest manner. we have an habit, especially in UPSC, some difficult things we try to say, in my next reading I will study. You start reading for prelims, you will come to know. In your first reading, you will read all the nice things. Difficult things, what you will think, next time I will make notes. Second time will become, okay, 1 month before the exam, if I write down, it is easy, it will be in my brain. Then you will think, 1 week before the exam, I will write down. And when you go to the exam, you will never read that topic. But you write one attempt, you will come to know. It's a habit. So don't do that. The most difficult things, write it in the first revision only. Are you understanding? These are the things you have to make short notes. Can I revise entire Lakshmikant and Polity 10 times? But can I revise this 10 times? Artha agtidya? The most difficult things, these like this, bills, money bill, finance bill, ordinary bill, constitutional amendment bill, make a box like this. Read it 10 times. So coming to emergency, again, what all should I be knowing about emergency, sir? Article. Okay, fine. Article. Grounds. What grounds? Good. Procedure. I always stress on procedure. In polity, UPSC loves to ask about procedure. Very good. Duration. Good. Extension. And you can read everything else under one more subheading called as impact. Impact on fundamental rights, impact on parliament, impact on state legislative assembly. Madboda? Impact. Then withdrawal of emergency. What is the procedure to withdraw? Simple majority na, special majority na, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha na, only Lok Sabha na. Idu confusing areas. Understood? Please make a table like this. It becomes simple for you to revise. Again, Article 352 to 360. Invoked during war, external aggression or armed rebellion threatening the security and sovereignty of India or there any part of it. Which part of the constitution does it come under? Which part of the constitution does emergency come under? Guarantee, na? Part 18. Understood? Match the following. If he gives you in match the following, remember if you know it, easy 2 marks. If you go wrong, 2.6 marks. Okay, and I am telling you, even 0.66 marks matter a lot. I know a friend, he was extremely intelligent. So what happened, he had done the paper well. So he had marked around 75, 76 questions. But before coming out of the exam hall, he thought, okay, let me mark another 2 questions. Just before the examiner came, he bubbled 2 more questions. And only because of that 1 question, he had to miss out on clearing the prelims. Papala. And he's a very close friend of mine. He was my Delhi roommate. You ask any date, it was in his memory, he never used to by heart. If I ask him today also, what were we doing 3 years back in Delhi, he knows what we were doing. Ashta memory power. Anything you ask. But when it came to the exam, again he used to falter in prelims. So that is why I am stressing, one small topic, one small question, one small mistake can make you wait for 1 year. Remember, it's like a pregnancy cycle. Again, 8th month abort adru, again starts from 1st month, and it is very difficult. It's not so easy to sit and wait for 1 year. But trust me, if you know how to do it, this is the most easiest exam. Solpa presence of mind, solpa application. Yesterday I was taking a class. How many of you read the paper 2 days back? Hindu newspaper. Odidra. So, Sardinia anta one place news alitte. It had come in Hindu newspaper. Did anybody read? Can't siralla, odiralla correct agi. Odidira but it siglilla. Niಮಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ? ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ನೀವು? ನಿಮಗೆ B2 B4 B6? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ನೀವು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ? ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, fine. Again, it's okay. Sardinia, why was it important? Again, it was 2024 question, UPSC had asked, here given places name and asked, match the following. Same newspaper, same article, there is another topic known as Levant. 2021 UPSC question. One article, two questions. We neglect UPSC newspaper saying that I will read every my standard book, current affairs. None of the current affairs will cover all this. Now they might cover. Post-mortem, they never do. And imagine, in one article of the paper, two questions of UPSC had come. That is the power of newspaper. And for others, it might be a difficult question I need not touch. But for those reading the newspaper, it is my easy 2 marks and easy 4 marks. And once you read it and see where is it on the map, you don't have to even revise. Your memory, you can easily go and fetch this from your memory. In fact, one more question was there, I forgot. Same paper. Topic I forgot. I'll tell you. One day, 3 UPSC PYQs in the Hindu newspaper. Yadu? Congo bit innondittu. I forgot, I'll let you know. Again, I think most of you know what is happening in DRC Congo. Observe marta idira. So don't worry, again one more IR admele current affairs class, we will cover this in detail. So that you leave it to us. Okay, IR current affairs covered completely because easy 5 to 7 questions will come. Artha agtidya? Yes, come back. So please try to make it a habit to start reading the newspaper. Now at least, it is never too late. Some people say, sir, what timeline or what time frame paper should I read? ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಓದಬೇಕು newspaper? 6 months. Forever. Some people say 1 year in the Odi, some people will say 2 years in the Odi. Again, whatever is done. Start from today. For example, if next UPSC Prelims is on 24th May, 23rd May there might be a topic in the newspaper which can come tomorrow. Yes, UPSC will stop the paper at say 1.5 months back. Paper is printed almost 2 months back. But there should be no reason why that should not come in the paper. Again, Bandipur National Park, it will come on 23rd May. Or some nice tribal dance, one photo will come. Same tribal dance UPSC will ask tomorrow. So make it a habit, think that you are learning something new. One more very important topic was in the news yesterday, quantum computing ali. What is that concept? Quantum day antana? Did you see Q day anta on news ali ittu? Q day was in news. Sycamore experiment was in the news. In Hindu newspaper only I am reading. I am not reading some UPSC newspaper. Open your eyes. What is Q day? Anybody? Doctor. Paper odbeku. Why I am telling you is emerging technology. UPSC loves to ask quantum computing, green energy, electric vehicles. What is Q day? How many of you saw the name Q day? 1, 2, 3. Others, you don't touch the newspaper also. Madam, newspaper odadillo. You will read. Again, I see students, sir, I read in half an hour, sir. I cover every topic, sir. Half an hour, impossible. Okay. What is Q day? Notidralla, what is the definition? The day a quantum computer will solve the encryption that is normally available. Andre, that day is a very dangerous day because after that, encryption will become obsolete. What do you mean by encryption will become obsolete? Easily crackable by a quantum computer. Adike Q day anta kariteve. UPSC will ask, Q day is recently seen in the news, what is it anta? Amele quantum echoes, write down the topics, quantum echoes. See, I read the newspaper even though I am not writing the exam. ನೀವು ಬರೆಯೋರು ಓದಲ್ಲ. Quantum echoes, Sycamore experiment, SYNCAMORE, SYNCAMORE, Sycamore experiment. ಅಖಿಲ್ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿದಿಂತಾನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ವಾಂಟಮ್ ಎಕೋಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಯಾವ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಅವರು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. ಯಾವ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ? ಗೂಗಲ್ ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Because last year UPSC had asked a question on as Majorana chip. All of you know. So first option was Majorana chip was introduced by AWS, Amazon Web Service. But actually Majorana chip was introduced by Microsoft. Alle change ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ quantum echoes I think is by Google. They can change it to some other company. And this quantum computing is the future. Quantum technology is the future. That is why UPSC will ask. You go back and see today, from the last 10 years, every year, minimum 2 to 3 questions on these technologies are asked. Blockchain, IoT, nuclear technology, quantum technology, electric vehicles, large language models. Ide barutte, ide barabeku. Problem is we don't open our eyes. We blindly believe on some current affairs magazine, something, we don't give any exercise. Rare earth metals. Baba anta karita ide newspaper alli. Tagudre rare earth metals. Yes or no? You should know what is the difference between rare earth metals and critical minerals. Again, major and minor minerals. When we cover economic and geography topic, I'll discuss this. Major and minor minerals, 3 to 4 times UPSC is already asked. Okay, that makes it important because you are observing the pattern I'm showing. If you decode this pattern, you will and you have to clear prelims including the forest cutoff. Correct age odudre. Artha agtidya? Again, next week when I come, I will ask you some important topics in the newspaper this week. Let us see how many people prepare. What is that island that is in the news near Lakshadweep? ಇವರೇ ಹೊಸಾದ್ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಏನು ಬಿತ್ರಾ ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ ಬಿತ್ರಾ ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟೆಲ್ ನಡೀರಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹಂಗೆ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಐಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಲಕ್ಷದ್ವೀಪ್ 1 lakh hey Srikar I will write one island for you check how many islands are there in Lakshadweep 36 islands 1 lakh how many inhabited andre people are there around 9 or 10 is inhabited rest are uninhabited as Indian citizens these are the things we observe unfortunately none of the books gives all this so you don't read it okay what is island Bitra Islands Korofan where is Korofan Korofan province. Hey. Google ಮಾಡಿ KOROFAN ಅಂತ. ಸುಡಾನ್ ಸೌತ್ ಸುಡಾನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಡೋನೇಷ್ಯಾಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರಲ್ರಿ and it is coming in our Hindu newspaper every day so please read. Again, I will give you all the list of the places. But instead of me telling if you have already studied, it will stay in your memory for a longer time. That is why. Thailand and Cambodia have started fighting against Priya Vihar temple. Kelidira? Which religion do the desert Priya Vihar temple belong? Hinduism or Buddhism? I don't know. Hinduism or Buddhism? Guarantee na? Who constructed it? Which king? Just Google and tell me now. No. Which temple, which year was it constructed? Who constructed it? Good. Surya Varman. One guarantee na? Which god is there? Shiva na, Vishnu na? ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬೇಡಿ ಶಿವನಾ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸೆಂಚುರಿ ವಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟೆಡ್ 9, 10, 11 ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್ ಗುಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ದ ಪ್ರಿಯಾ ವಿಹಾರ್ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮುಘಲ್ ಇನ್ವೇಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ okay I'm not asking contemporary he will check UPSC likes to ask this contemporary kind of question if you know which time both of the things happened you can easily get it right ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಏನು 5 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಪ್ ಇಟ್ ನೋ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ again national emergency is decided is there any role of cabinet president declares an emergency only with the written advice of cabinet post which amendment 44th amendment artha agtidya again please go home whenever you are reading the chapter 44th amendment 42nd amendment national emergency president's rule whatever is there write down madboda Three grounds: war, external aggression, and armed rebellion. Change from internal disturbance by 44th Amendment. Earlier, internal disturbance was there. In 44th Amendment, it was changed to armed rebellion. Are you understanding? 44 name martane, 42 martane. He will not make 1, 2, 3. It is very easy. 44 and 42 are the most confusing amendments. Because 42nd Amendment was brought by which government? Indira Gandhi, emergency. 44th? Morarji Desai. So, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ contradictory features ಇದೆ. Observe ಮಾಡಿ. Parliamentary approval, 1 month initial approval deadline by both House Parliament, 6 months, and after every 6 months there should be parliamentary approval. Only if there is parliamentary approval can it continue for a longer period of time. Is there any timeline where it should end? Another timeline idea? President's rule? 3 years. Is to clarity. Again, if you have multiple revisions like this, you can easily remember. Revoke. President can revoke and Lok Sabha can disapprove by a simple majority or approve by a simple majority. Special majority beda. Approval ke special or simple? Special majority. Effects of national emergency, very, very important. What will happen to state legislative assembly? What will happen to parliament? What are the powers that are with the president? These are the effects that you should know. And also, terms of Lok Sabha and State Assembly can be extended by 1 year at a time during the time of emergency. Parliament can make laws on state lists. State legislatures' power remain but subordinate to Parliament. What they will do during national emergency? The State Legislative Assembly loses its power regarding legislation. True or false? I will repeat. During national emergency, state legislative assemblies are dissolved and they don't have any power to pass any laws. True or false? False. Okay. Armed rebellion as a ground for national emergency was introduced by which amendment? 44th. Again, in summary, grounds, declaration, approval, duration, effects, and revocation. Ishtu nimge gothirbeku. Alright. Again, I am taking lot of efforts to prepare this, even though I am not the polity faculty. Polity faculty and easy ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬರೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದಿರುತ್ತೆ. Because I am taking, again, me and Nikhil sir have taken the initiative. We are going to do the same for all the subjects. Don't think sumne bandi half an hour. No, we are going to put the efforts, and we want you to make the best use of this. That's all. Okay. Same apply to President's rule. When was the first time President's rule was imposed? In which state? Kerala, Punjab, Manipur. You only gave me 3 options. Manipur irrelevant answer avaga. Correct? Highest is Punjab. First yavaga? I don't know. Kerala? I don't know. 1951 Punjab, guarantee na? Illa you need kodi tappadre. Google. Again, Article 356, 355. Again, what are the grounds and procedure for President's rule? Very important. Grounds. In the name of corruption, can President's rule be imposed? No. And also, a warning should generally be given before imposing President's rule. Neatag it is there. It is clearly given in our textbook. Non-compliance with center under Article 365 immediately triggers intervention. Means, if any state government does not follow the instruction given by the central government, there can be President's rule that can be imposed. For example, today, any time, if center makes up its mind, it can impose President's rule on West Bengal. Correct? What is happening in West Bengal? Didi, Mamata Banerjee. So usually they don't follow the central government rules. Constitutionally, there is a provision where President's rule can be imposed for not complying with the directions of the union government. But it is a very risky job because politically it might backfire. President issues proclamation after receiving the governor's report or on other credible information. Can President's rule be imposed without the recommendation by the governor? ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ ಸಾ? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎಸ್? ಇದು 50-50 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It's not discretionary power. Obviously, it is cabinet that is going to suggest. I am asking, governor ಕಳಿಸಲೇಬೇಕಾ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್? Should governor compulsory send the report for president's rule? Not necessarily. ಹಂಗೆ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. And parliamentary approval within how many months? And the duration. Initially for 6 months, extendable maximum up to 3 years under specific conditions. Andre elections cannot be held anta report bandre matra it can be extended. All right. Again, what will happen to the state council of ministers? What will happen to the state assembly when president's rule is imposed? I think we discussed in the last class also. You should have a clarity. This is where UPSC can and will confuse us. Is the president's rule subject to judicial review? Is president's rule subject to judicial review? Yes or no? Yes. But constitutional ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the discretion of power is regarded as the discretion of power of governor and that cannot be challenged in court of law ಅಂತಿದೆ. It is there. But many times president's rule has been challenged in the court and decisions have been revoked. For example, Uttarakhand was an example. Many states example ಇದರ ಇದೆ. But what is there in the constitution? We should have an idea. Also remember difference between president and governor. Who has both situational and constitutional discretion? Governor. President has only situational discretion. Again, if you start reading, you will get a clarity on this. Okay? Outcome and duration, parliamentary review, proclamation and initiation. All this summary is given here. SR Bommai case established that president's rule is subject to judicial review. Bommai case, most important judgment in the judicial history of India. SR Bommai, Keshavananda Bharati, Amel, Coelho, Minerva Mills case. These are very important cases you should be knowing at any cost. Basic structure, evolution of basic structure, ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲೇಬೇಕು. Financial emergency. I think all of you will know about this. How many times it has been imposed? 0. It's the easiest topic, very rarely asked by UPSC. Inspired by USA's National Recovery Act of 1933 during the Great Depression. This one thing is not there in our Lakshmikant. 2-month approval, indefinite period, there is no time frame, simple majority and no special majority. Okay? Can the government reduce the salaries of Supreme Court judges when financial emergency is imposed? ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು. Again, all money bills and finance bill passed by the state legislature must be reserved for president's consideration. Lot of such provisions are there. Observe ಮಾಡಿ. Again, 38, 42nd, 44th amendment. Very, very important. ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದು 44th amendment. Again, presidential powers during emergency. Again, this is a procedure how it works. Financial emergency summary. This is the table. All right. I think we have covered majority of the important topics in Parliament chapter. In case you want any other chapter to be discussed, please let us know. We'll come back and discuss. Next week is going to be a week for discussing current affairs. Discussing andre again crisp. We'll have not more than 1.5 to 2 hours of session. Okay, 1.5 to 2 hours will complete minimum 10 topics. Which are the topics that are in the news? Let us try to make a list. 6th schedule, SIR, Article 200, presidential reference, removal of Supreme Court judges, or removal of High Court judge, anything else? Election Commission, fine. Very good. Citizenship Amendment Act. Which section is in the news? Section 6B is in the news. Because there is a date that is mentioned in Citizenship Amendment Act. Only people who have come from within the date is eligible for Citizenship Act. What is the date? 1971. 31st December 2014. Whoever has come to India before 31st December 2014 from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, who are either a Hindu, Christian, Sikh, Jain, Parsi or Christian, will be eligible for a citizenship by naturalization within how many years? 5 years or 6 years? 5 years. Because in citizenship, in our constitution it says we need 11 years for naturalization. But in CAA we have a special provision, within 5 years they will be getting citizenship. But will everybody be? Only these 3 countries, 6 community people. Okay, we'll go discuss Citizenship Amendment Act then. Assam Accord ಬೇಕಾ ನೀವು ಸರ್? Okay, fine, we'll discuss Assam Accord. ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅಖಿಲ್? ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ? ಅಸ್ಸಾಮ, ಓಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, ST ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್, ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ SC ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್. ಕಾ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬೇಡ. ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಫೈನ್. ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರವರ್ಸಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್, ಫೈನ್, ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. Fifth schedule is there, no? Adrale we'll discuss the difference between 6th and 5th schedule also. Any other topics I will see, in case we'll add another 2 IR topics also there. IR topics andaga, countries that are in conflict, Pakistan and Afghanistan are in conflict. There is a river in Afghanistan that is in news. Indus River kelidira? Why is Indus River in the news? India recently kept the Indus water treaty at abeyance. Everybody, Akhil. One river is there in Afghanistan, which Afghanistan is planning to stop. That river goes to Pakistan from Afghanistan. Which river is that? River Kunar. River Kunar. Okay? Idu current affairs. Idine now observe madbekiradu. Okay? So this is what we are going to discuss in the next class. In case you want any help regarding prelims or anything regarding discussion, you let us know. Okay, so we'll conclude the class now. Any other doubts? Artha aita? Yes. So again, next which subject shall we start after that? IR, but ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ IR ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ 2 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸಬಹುದು. Economics big. Again, economics and geography will start because our PEG subjects very important. Polity, economy, geography 45 questions ಬರುತ್ತೆ. We will not start ancient medieval art and culture. ಅದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅದು ಆಟೋಕೊಂಡು with all due respect, but for us polity, economy, geography is giving 45 marks, 45 questions. Okay, next we'll do economy and geography. Okay, see you, good luck. ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 4th one also will be uploaded, or else you text me on Telegram, I'll send it to you. Telegram ID na. Again, all the slides are going to be uploaded on the YouTube link of the video. Okay, this is the Telegram ID. Everything in small letters. Thank you. Sachin, if you just text me on Telegram, I'll forward, or else the PDF will be attached to the video that you are watching. Done?